Well, hello. This is just a spontaneous little talk to Facebook, to my Facebook page. So, right now, I am transitioning between activities. So, I'm just using Facebook and you guys to clear my mind. And it's interesting. I'm playing with Facebook, playing with the internet. So, the activity I'm coming from is a line by line review and generating a catalog of concerns for a course that I'm asked to take as part of an AFCC conference. Okay, so I'm deeply involved in that, and I have a client then coming up in a little bit. So I'm going to have to take a break and get involved with the client. And I've got a window of time that's not really I just took a break and got some things done, and now getting back into the report, I don't have enough time to actually get into that again, and I don't have enough. I'm waiting on the appointments, so I thought I would clear my mind about a little something, which is the interesting aspect of doing a line by line on this report. And I get a little sensitive or worried about talking about my current activities because I'm a clinical psychologist. Everything's confidential. But when it's about a course, that's not confidential. And when it's about the AFCC sponsored course, that has broader implications. And so I feel it's within the professional scope to be discussing my work to a degree. Now, the seminar itself, they asked that I not share the password, and so I'm not going to share my slide by slide workup of it. But my catalog of concerns will be available, should be available. And as I was thinking about that, this instructor is in a difficult position because what's happening is I'm like grading his paper. He's doing a presentation in the course from Dr. Childress on family court pathology. And it's evident that he hasn't read the book and he hasn't attended any of the lectures. And now he's being held to a standard of the application of established knowledge. And he doesn't know any of the established knowledge. And he's not talking about any of the established knowledge. So he's just kind of winging it. And if I've taught courses, if you've ever taught a course, you get that student who thinks they can just come in and kind of wing it because they have ideas. Not in my course. No, we have a syllabus. Did you read the syllabus? And did you read the books that were involved? Did you acquire the information? Because that's what I'm going to be grading on. And so basically, this is not a training course for me, heavens. This is his class project, his end of the term project, where he's presenting on parent-child contact problems. And that's not going to be going very well in the family court class of Dr. Childress. So, but now I used to grade. And when you grade a student and give them a poor grade, then they're going to take it up to the administration. So you got to support your grade. So when you go through their paper, you got to really talk about where they missed the mark. And with this case, because this instructor, okay, is the president of the Washington chapter of the AFCC. And I'm just now joined the AFCC and I'm in the Washington chapter. I live in Washington. And so this is kind of like my guy. He's the president of the chapter and I'm reviewing his course. Okay, that's interesting. So I need to make sure that it's quality work, that my work is quality and my work will withstand review in terms of my critique. The other thing that kind of cracks me up or worries me a little bit is, how when you do something like a talk or presentation or performance or something, and you get 50 people coming up to you and saying, "Oh, that was great. I loved it. I loved it." And you get one person who says, "Didn't like it." You know how you obsess about that one person and all the other 50 you just kind of go in and out and you go, yay. But that one person who didn't like it, you just obsess about why they didn't like it. And that, well, at this point in time, I'm about halfway through a 1 hour course, and I've got about 100 pages of line or slide by slide review. So I cut and paste out the slide, and then I have commentary, and then it goes into the catalog of concerns. And so the catalog is in there as well. But 100 pages of feedback from your professor on your course presentation, your PowerPoint. That's more than just one thing, critique. That's like 100 pages of critique, and I'm probably about 50 pages. I got 24 concerns in the catalog of concerns. It's gone on to a second page. I got 24, and so that's going to be an interesting encounter. He apparently doesn't know who Dr. Childress is. Well, he's going to be introduced to Dr. Childress on my critique. And the interesting thing is these, you know how they do the course evaluations. And so at the end of this conference, I'm required to take this course for this conference. I paid to attend the conference. And so I'm going to a conference on Friday on this stuff. And I'm required to take this course. So I took the course. And then they said right at the start of the course that after the conference, they're going to ask us for our evaluation for the course. And I've got 1.04 and 1.05, and 2.01 is on there. I'm worried about boundaries of competence in the number of domains. 2.04 is on there. I'm worried about established knowledge. The application of established knowledge is on there. I haven't hit 9.01 yet, but we'll see. I still got half a PowerPoint to go through that. And so, it's just an interesting world. He's using a case presentation. He's just introduced this case presentation. And that's another interesting domain. I may wind up doing a case presentation up here. Okay, I may it's an attorney or a question. Dr. Childress answers your question from an attorney, says, I got this kind of situation. What are your thoughts? I can put it up there and talk about that. And I think it might be interesting to just start doing case presentations. I put that out there on my YouTube video talking to attorneys that if the attorney has a question that would seem to be more general focus, although it could have specific features of general interest, supervision of parenting. Let's say I got a parent who's being supervised. What are your thoughts about that? And give me a little bit more, but what are your thoughts about that? I can talk about the case and talk about treatment plans and that sort of thing. Well, this is giving a case presentation. This is part of the PowerPoint here. And so right now he's talking about polarization, the polarization symptom. He just introduced that slide. Well, we got polarization in the family and everybody's fine. Well, that's splitting. That's a symptom of splitting. And there's only two pathologies that have the symptom of splitting, narcissistic and borderline personality pathology, and it has to do with trauma, that there's no middle to their ability to integrate concepts. And so it's actually a psychiatric symptom and it's neurologically foundation. The rest of us can blend stuff. We can keep both our motivation to bond and our motivation to flee. We can keep those systems on at the same time and get a blend. But in response to trauma, the narcissistic borderline, or what became the narcissistic borderline, turns one of those off to get a single motivational system when they have two active. So they either bond entirely, it's all good, or they flee entirely, it's all bad. They're boom, 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 it goes back and forth like that. And that's neurologically based. They have no middle. They can't do anything but that. So when I hear the instructor here talk about polarization, that's splitting. And that's associated with narcissistic borderline. So now we got the darks as well. So we got narcissistic borderline dark personality pathology. Then I move into Linehan's quote on the staff splitting. When the staff and the people start to fight about the patient and the treatment of the patient surrounding borderline personality pathology. So the instructors now introduced psychiatric disorders and personality pathology and the splitting dynamic on things. And if he doesn't talk about that, my guess is he's not, then that's a problem. Okay. And what my sentence is when I go back, I have a concern on ignorance. This is the first time I've done that. So I just say, and it's not like critical. It is, but it's like your professor. I put the Google ignorance, lack of knowledge or information. That's what it means. And so if there's a lack of knowledge or information, then that's ignorant. You're ignorant. And if I have to educate you about what the pathology is and its diagnosis and treatment, then you are ignorant by definition of the English language. That's not like some sort of nasty criticism. That's like an accurate description. And so you shouldn't be ignorant, not if you're a mental health professional treating these people. You have boundaries, you have competence requirements, and it's not good to be an ignorant doctor. Lack knowledge and information. And if I have to educate you, then you are ignorant by a demonstrated need to be educated about it. It's not my job to educate you. It's your job to already know. Plus, I shouldn't have to educate you to have a professional level discussion with you about your patient. Okay, but apparently I do. So if you encounter me, that's going to be a little uncomfortable, I suppose, in that I'm going to have to educate you, and you're ignorant and unethical because you're practicing beyond the boundaries of your competence and stuff. But, I don't want to do that. I want you to practice properly and get an accurate diagnosis and get the treatment fixed and fix it for these families and the family courts and for the children and protect the children. That's what I want you to do. But if you're going to do this kind of class presentation, it has me worried about what you're actually doing. Okay. And you're just one. And if you're in the leadership position and you're teaching the others, so there's ones below you, my goodness gracious. And so anyway, I'm heading off now, back to my world. And I just wanted to kind of dump some of that off on the situation because it's a very curious time of my encountering the forensic psychologists. They've all been in the AFCC. I know where they are, okay, and I could have encountered them earlier, but I would have been in danger if I had done that without being in the proper position. If I'm going to criticize them and critique them and elevate their standards of practice, I got to bring it. Okay, I got to bring the professional level. So that's where the slide by slide, it's been 10 years developing that approach. Catalog of concerns has been another 3, 4, 5 years of developing the catalog of concerns. It's been sifted through forensic evaluation after evaluation. More concerns get added and it gets easier. The reason why it's so easy is because I have to go through a custody evaluation line by line, just like this presentation, slide by slide. The ignorance is so dense, lack of knowledge or information, that I have to. I can't skip any. It's just like, oh, geez, this is and this and this and this and this and this and this. And so I've going through a forensic evaluation line by line, 50 pages, and it just generates this big old appendix. And I was noting every time there was a concern, I would state the concern about whatever was, but that got like huge appendix 1 for me. So I started breaking out the concerns and putting them in a catalog. So the first time I encounter the concern, I say what the concern is and write it out, basically cut and paste it out of my general catalog and say, here, I'm saying it again, boundaries of competence, forensic custody evaluations, differential diagnosis. So put it in there and then add it to the catalog of concerns for that particular, in this case, course or forensic evaluation or treatment report or whatever it is. And so I have this catalog, and then the catalog doesn't take me any additional time but to generate. But what it saves me time on is the next time I encounter the same concern, I just go grab the number. I cut and paste out of the catalog, just a little, concern 5, boundaries of competence, boom, boom, and in it goes. And so I'm referencing an overarching kind of analysis. And so it's Dr. Childress. If you're going to be graded in your course in forensic psychology and by Dr. Childress, that's what I'm going to have to do, because you're going to appeal my critique or decision to upper administration. And so the upper administration is going to want to know why you got an F. And it's because you didn't read the book and you didn't study for the exam and you didn't apply any established knowledge and you just thought you could come in and wing it. Okay, and so I'm going to go through line by line and just say where you missed the mark. And so, yeah, I'm going to run off. Now, it took me about 2 years to prepare for this, probably around 2020, of kind of hardening myself a lot, because I don't like doing this to people. I don't like kind of slamming careers or reorienting them. One of the questions I have came up today, because I'm going to be meeting, these are people in my chapter, in my Washington chapter, and I'm going to be here for 25, 26, 27, 28, 20. I'm hanging around. So now, what is my relationship with these people? And do they now learn what their pathology is? Well, that means they didn't know what it was before. And how many lives did they screw up because they didn't know what they were doing before? And, if the diagnosis is child abuse one way or the other, and they haven't been diagnosing child abuse either way, then I know for a fact they failed in their duty to protect their entire career. Okay, so now they learn it. Now they start diagnosing child abuse. God darn, that's still kind of problematic professional perception. And so I don't know what's going to happen off of this. It's going to be interesting. I mostly don't care. Look at me, old guy. I'm on Bainbridge Island. I'm a happy human. It's them that's going to have to sort of figure out what they want to do with Dr. Childress and how they're going to want to adjust to Dr. Childress. And that's where it was really, really dangerous to me right now, unless I'm seriously protected and protect myself, because what they want to do with me is make me go away and crush me, and then they don't want me anywhere near their fiefdom, their little cash cow. So with that, I guess my mind's clear, and yeah, I've got to get ready for my next appointment. So take care, everybody, and interesting little thing. Jumping on the Facebook Live and clearing my mind. Okay, here we go. All right, take care, everybody.